everybody. Welcome to what podcast is this? Laser Brains?
Yeah.
All right. Hello. Welcome to Laser Brains. We've been doing this for about 2 or 3 years now. We don't know what podcast we're on. Hi.
Welcome to a podcast.
Yeah. I'm your co-host, Mike Allen. As always, I'm joined by
Joshua Mervell, and today we're going to be talking about a crazy movie, Paprika. I'm very excited to talk about this.
Yes. There's a lot to say about this film, but before we get to the film, we got to introduce our other co-host here, Champion, co-owner of Meteor,
That's
host
me.
of Movie Night.
That's me as well.
Thank you for finally showing this film.
Finally, yeah.
It's been a year in the making, right?
At least
About,
a year. Yeah, we were going to screen this last year. Why didn't we screen it last time?
Because the person who picked it did not show up that night.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Because Nick was going to be on the podcast.
Yes, we don't want to mention any names, but yeah, Nick. And so then Nick, we showed it tonight, and Nick still couldn't be on the podcast.
But he made it for the movie.
Yeah, he's here.
And Nick, this was a great choice. I know you're watching this.
Yes, everyone watches this. Okay, and in celebration, we have a very special guest from Wisconsin.
Yes,
right?
recent transplant.
Yes, from Laura. No, this is Laura from Wisconsin.
So I'm here because Nick is not here.
Technically, yes. You're filling in for
great.
Nick. Yes.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it because you got 10 minutes notice and you agreed to be on our podcast.
Like I said, when you're new to a town and a bunch of random people you've just met invite you to be on a podcast, you say yes.
That's awesome.
And speaking of being new to this town, how long have you been here?
10 days.
That's
10
amazing.
days.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
From
Thank
Eau
you for being here.
Claire,
From Eau
Wisconsin.
Claire, Wisconsin,
Isn't
yeah.
that, and this is, I'm searching the dark recesses of my brain now. Didn't they have a car company there in Eau Claire called Saturn?
I don't
Was
know
that
about
Eau
the
Claire,
Saturn.
Wisconsin?
They had the Uniroyal dealer, or the
Uniroyal?
Uniroyal Tires was based there.
Okay.
That was
I
their
drove a
longtime
Saturn like
manufacturing
30
hub.
years ago, and I
Sure.
think they made them in Wisconsin, but maybe I'm wrong.
Interesting.
Oh.
Very interesting.
No, it's not interesting at all.
Well, here's the thing. Before we even jump into this, okay, so how did you hear about this movie night? What made you decide to come? Did you see flyers?
Yeah,
or-
what are you doing
Yeah,
here?
I was just bouncing around trying to find the pockets of art community in this town because
Cool.
that's my passion. And I saw it on a couple of bulletin boards and talked to people about where things were going on. And they said, oh, you got to check out Meteor. So that was one of the places that was on my list.
That's
So
excellent.
I saw Paprika was showing and I've seen it before, but I love the movie. So I was glad to
Very
come and
cool.
watch it again.
Nice.
Did you see like a physical flyer for Paprika?
I did, yes. What's one of the ones, just
Where
like
did-
what you handed me for
Whoa.
Where did you
Fireflies
see
next
it? We just
week.
have to know because this
We
is for our
just
market
started doing
research.
this.
The Chance Coffee, I think, is where I saw this one.
Okay, you know what's
that-
funny? That's me.
That's you? That's you?
Oh,
There's only
okay.
about 5 of those flyers in the city.
really?
Yeah, so it's very
And 4 of them are a
cool.
chance copy.
Yeah, because I go there and that's one of the ones I put out. Yeah, so that's good that you saw it there. That's
Oh, fantastic.
I love
yeah.
Chance Coffee.
Yeah, they're great.
They're great.
Yeah.
That's actually where I buy the coffee for my house as well.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Great
Yeah.
vibe. I love their illustrations and stuff.
Absolutely,
And,
yeah.
Kitty and Sabrina were so nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Paprika.
Yes.
Now, I think the main reason that we picked it, there's 2 reasons. Number one, whenever we show an anime film, they bring out a huge crowd, right? Probably our biggest crowds.
Seems to be, yeah.
And then another reason is because it's allegedly the inspiration for Inception, correct?
Yeah, there's a bit of debate. I think Christopher Nolan is kind of like, yeah, I saw it, but
I might have seen it.
I might have seen it, but like I started writing this, before the movie came out, which is fair,
Possible.
But it's. I feel like it undeniably takes inspiration from this movie. I mean, there are shots that seem similar.
Yeah,
The whole hallway,
100% the hallway.
like reoccurring bit, is just like a little bit different in Inception. Like it's. I don't know,
I kept
it's
waiting for that hallway to start
turning.
spinning.
Yeah. But maybe we'll talk about this a little bit more. But I feel like this movie does it 100 times better.
okay,
And I love Inception. I
this
really
is-
do. But
yeah, okay, this is what I'm going to say. First of all, who's seen Inception? I have seen
Yeah.
Inception.
Oh, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I do love Inception. I love Christopher Nolan, but I feel like almost all of his movies, it's kind of like they're way better than most blockbusters, but they also fall short a little bit of what I feel like their potential could be.
Right.
For the most part, like I think the Dark Knight trilogy is better than almost every superhero film, but they still have tons of flaws.
Yeah.
But they're still better than every superhero film. Dunkirk is great. whatever. All of his movies are
Memento,
great.
yeah, there's a-
Prestige. All of them are great.
They're
But-
kind of like heady blockbusters.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
a little
very
bit
high
more
concept.
cerebral
Right.
blockbusters.
Yeah.
But there's other, but with Inception, he's touching on dreams and surrealism, and there's other movies that have done dreams and surrealism better that are not blockbusters. They don't have big budgets, and we mentioned Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I mentioned the Spanish film Open Your Eyes, which was remade into Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Okay. So a movie like that, like the original, did you see the original Open Your Eyes?
I haven't seen
Okay.
that. Yeah.
It's even better.
It's rare that someone stumps me on a movie.
Okay,
So I'm
okay.
excited to hear about a new film. Yeah,
it's
great.
a Spanish film, but when
Yeah.
you see that, you're like, oh my God, this is one of the best films I've ever seen. And I actually watched it like when I used to work at Blockbuster. I just pulled it off the shelf, rented it, watched it. And then a couple years later, they remade it into Vanilla Sky. So I was like, okay, it's not just me that thinks this movie's good. Tom Cruise saw the movie. He's like, I'm going to remake this movie. Vanilla Sky is a great movie. But Vanilla Sky gets into, it's constantly making you question what's going on, the whole
Right.
movie. And this movie does so a little bit, especially as far as what's real, how are they using reality. But to get back to Inception, it doesn't quite as much, not nearly as much, right?
No, I mean there's definitely moments that make you feel like is this real life? Is this
Yeah.
not? But it's only because, and I think this is its downfall as well, is that nothing feels surreal in the movie for the most part. Everything is kind of rooted in reality. Even
Right.
when they're in the dream world, they're like in office buildings and handing like files back and forth to each other. Where this is kind of like explores the fantastical side about dreams and imagination and all of these like
Well, and
larger ideas.
And the climax of Inception is shoot 'em up. It's
Right.
like, oh, is that all you could think of? And
In your wildest dreams,
know.
it's like I'm in this like bunker in the snow and you're shooting. Like I was always kind of expecting a little bit more. To
That's
happen,
right
you
about
know?
that's right around where that movie starts to lose me,
Right.
right? Like we've gone through like we're talking about Inception, right? We've gone through a few levels and then we get to what is now the darkest, deepest level of their dream and it's like, oh, you're just on Humvees with snow treads?
Right,
like
right,
it's okay. Earlier on, I would have been sold on this, but I was hoping for something more profound, and it doesn't.
To give Christopher Nolan a little bit of a benefit of a doubt, I think he likes to play with time more than he likes to play necessarily in this sort of
Right.
dreamscape.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I think that Christopher Nolan did, maybe intentionally, was to say, well, we've got layers in these dreams, and here's the rules for the different layers, and as you go deeper, what those rules are. Whereas Paprika, really, there's not any defined rules. It's kind of really anything goes. Let's play
Sure.
with psychology.
For
Let's
sure.
play with these different ideas and see what we can do.
Yeah.
And to be fair, with Dunkirk, it was 3 different timelines.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And in Inception, it was 3 or 4 different
Yeah, like levels of
or
time.
whatever,
Yeah.
which is interesting. But it's cool the way they did it with the hallway flipping and then the car going over the bridge. But I think it's almost like this is one weakness I think with certain films that deal with like the supernatural is that they make the rules a little bit too simple. Like in Inception, they're like, well, 1 hour is 7 hours, or I don't remember what they say exactly, but it's like, how can it be so precise? Okay, fine, I'll buy that. But in this film, it goes so far the other way, where it's like you said, there's almost no rules, and in a way that's good for the surrealism, but in another way, it kind of like it's not anchored as much in reality, right?
Like it doesn't have enough stakes.
Yeah, maybe that could be it. Yeah, because they can kind of just do whatever they want,
Sure.
right?
And I think that did sort of work for it and against it because there wasn't that sort of tension like that really grabbed me. Like I didn't feel that people were in any danger a lot of the time. At the same time, it worked for it in that all the characters seemed to feel completely natural in what they were doing. Like they didn't seem like they were freaked out by it. They were just like, oh, this is the thing that's happening. Is this real? Is this a dream? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Or that moment where it flips and they realize they are in a dream and then
Right.
everything goes off the walls in whatever direction it's going to go. Yeah.
But it was like this was a normal part of their world.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, Josh.
You know,
What were you
I was gonna say for this movie though, I really do like how they very quickly kind of throw us right into the idea of this chip. you can go into your and kind of like live through your dreams, and it feels real, and you kind of like control it. And then almost immediately we're kind of like, hey, something's wrong. Like right when we're introduced to it, like we're jumping right in, and it's surreal right from the start because we're kind of like playing catch up almost, trying to figure out what's going on as they're also trying to figure out what's going on. I think they did it in a really clever way. I love the way that they kind of slowly drop cues that like you're getting pushed into a dream, or like dreams are happening, where like when you first fall asleep, everything is kind of getting like foggy, and you're losing yourself a little bit. So the characters start talking like gibberish.
Yes.
And you know that they're slowly losing themselves, and
it's that.
Really cool. Everything seems normal, and then you kind of get this like pit in your stomach, like something doesn't seem right. Like something is a little bit off, and then it goes.
It reads like Japanese horror, right? Where Japanese horror has this really wide range of different ways in which they explore psychology and they explore the supernatural. And when you see someone just sort of rambling incoherently about something, and obviously there's something going on in that character's head, but it's not until we start to see the inner workings of their dreams that you start to connect the dots on what's happening.
Yeah.
And I love how they just sort of like they turned that up. It was one of the scientists at first that started talking in gibberish like that. And at first I'm like, is this a bad translation? Is this, did they mess up the subtitles? No, this is intentional. What? And there's no context at all to this. And it just sort of ratchets up am I the only one seeing this?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I appreciate a movie that doesn't hold the audience's hand all the way through it. And it lets you think about like what might be happening.
Yeah. Why am I seeing this? What is going on?
Well, okay, this also goes back to our theory that we've talked about, where we feel like, is this based on manga? I don't know.
No,
okay.
I don't believe so.
So it's an original property, but we feel like usually comic books or manga are better adapted in animation rather than live action. And even this concept, they go crazy, and there's no limitations to what they can do. Like one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie is when I think it's Paprika's on the bed. Or no, is it Paprika on the bed?
Oh, yeah.
And the guy's like puts his
the
hand in
vivisection
her,
scene,
and then
it's
goes through her body, and she's feeling it. Like she's writhing in pain, and then comes out through her face and rips her face into like, that's amazing. And if they try to do it in Inception or any movie now, it'd probably be CGI. If they did it in practical like The Thing, it'd be great. But in animation, it's flawless, right? Like it works.
Because your brain, right from the start, like you're not thinking about the characters as drawings, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
They set up the characters very strong, and you feel for them. So when they're put in these situations, it doesn't look out of the norm because they're already drawn.
They're already animation.
So when all of this happens, you're not thinking like about the special effects.
Totally
you're
agree.
just thinking about the characters and what's happening to them.
Well, one of the best things about animation is that it allows you to sort of experience whatever, the sort of surreal things that can happen in an animated piece of work, the stretching, the sort of cartoon physics of all of that. Even when it's done in a more realistic way like this, you see that in a way that feels more realistic to your brain just because of the way in which animation works.
Right.
Totally.
Well, this goes back to my old theory, like from I thought of a long time ago, which is where I realized that the more artificial the image looks, the more you feel it, the more you insert yourself into it, right? So, like I remember I was reading a comic where it was all like cartoony drawings, and then the characters were in completely realistic situations, like they were just having mundane lives and having sex and doing whatever. But I felt like I was living in it. Whereas, it like Josh said, if it was like a photograph, or if it was like a realistic drawing, you're kind of like your eye is going, is that real? That's not really what a muscle looks like. That's not what an arm looks like. But when it's cartoony, you're just like, oh no, I'm in this. I'm there. And in the movie, it's already fake. It's already a drawing. Right. So when they go into this craziness, you just go along with it. Like when they're growing, like and there's giants or even And I wanted to go back to one thing about. I'm going to keep going back to Inception.
Sure, yeah.
But there's certain things in the movie where, like when she dives over the railing and then all of a sudden
it like melts.
It just melts. Like I wish more of that would happen. And I don't want to just this is not a review about Inception, but it's kind of like I'm pumping up this movie about what they do that's so cool.
Right.
It's like it should be that way. It shouldn't be so I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it should affect you like when you're watching it. Even Spider-Man, the one with
Into the Spider-Verse?
No. The one with Jake Gyllenhaal. Which one was that?
Far From Home?
Yeah, Far From Home.
Yeah.
Which Champion has not seen.
Nope.
But there's moments in that movie where you do not know what's real and what isn't. And that's how it should feel. When you're doing a movie with dreams, you should be tricked over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Right? I think.
Yeah, you should be off balance the entire time.
Yes.
You're off balance in your own dreams.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
One of the things I love most about this movie that I don't think I've ever seen replicated in any other, especially live action, but any other animated movie either, is the way in which the transitions in the opening sequence work.
It's brilliant.
It's crazy cool to watch. Like this
good.
theme song plays and you see Paprika kind of just cruising through all of these different media. They're like grabbing onto whatever icon or element or thing that she sees and turning that into the next piece of the sequence. And the transitions are just amazing.
Yeah, and it like amps up too as it goes. Like it starts off kind of simple. She's just on her bike, and like the way that they even animated the actual credits themselves, it's like a projection.
Yes.
But it's an animated. So they had to animate the projection wrapping around things. Like it's so well done.
And it just builds that character for you to recognize
Yes.
that, Paprika has this innate ability to bend the rules
Right.
in which the other characters don't have. And, again, it's never explicitly stated that Paprika has these special abilities. You just start to learn that by the
Right.
fact that they do that one little sequence. That's all defined in that
Yeah.
in that opening title sequence.
Well, we also talked about in our review for Empire Strikes Back that what's his name? The director Irv Kershner
Irving Kershner, yeah.
believes that movies should feel like a dream that everyone in the audience shares. And this movie kind of talks about that. Remember when the guy's like, "Well, I don't like movies. I don't watch movies," or whatever he says. Then at the end of the movie, he orders a ticket for a movie. And throughout this story, we're seeing a scene where we think it's like reality, but then it cuts back and it's on a movie screen, and then they're interacting with the movie screen. Like that is what a dream is like, right?
That's an interesting read on it. I kind of always took that as him healing his trauma to move
Right.
forward. But no, I really like what you're seeing in that too.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? yeah. No, but it's cool though, right? Like,
Yeah.
no matter what, I think this movie it's touching on things that Inception didn't. And I don't want to keep talking about Inception.
right.
But I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it did a lot of things right. Partly because it's animated, but partly just because I think the writer is just digging deeper, right?
Yeah, it's very thought out, this movie.
Yeah.
Like even the small gags, I feel like, kind of have a payoff at the end. I mean, even the love, the love connection that happens at the end of the movie, and her like realization, it flashes back to kind of all those like funny bits at the start where it's just like the scientist trying to fit into the elevator, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's funny, but it weirdly all like fits.
Well, that's what
Exactly.
ends up saving the world, essentially, right? Like the fact that he's a big guy who just never stops eating.
Yeah.
And then when she ends up joining with him,
Right.
that's how they're able to essentially, who's eating my dream?
Right. and it's also like the metaphor of him like consuming, right? So like he is like the childish one and constantly consuming. We see that through him eating food. And then when at the end of the movie it's like this nightmare come to life, she decides the best way to get rid of it is just to quickly consume it. And getting that idea from using this scientist who has like possibly the biggest imagination because he's so childlike to like defeat it. It's just like, I don't know, there's so many kind of levels to it
almost like the limitation of her ability required her to almost join with his abilities in order to solve the bigger threat.
So, okay, we have to talk about one thing we didn't like about this movie. And I have one tiny thing I didn't like about this movie.
Okay.
There was a mixture of computer animation in this film, I believe.
Oh, okay. A little bit. Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind it. There was one part where I think she looks over into like
a
closet.
vent? Yeah.
And that was cool. But I didn't like when the city was very obviously just... It almost looked like a photograph. It just took me out of it. Because I don't mind like if a movie's going to use like computer animation to kind of like make the geometry look perfect, fine, but then draw over it with hand drawn. I that's what I think. But in this movie, it just looked like, oh, this just looks like it's film or it's video. Did you notice that? There was a couple of times when they were showing the city, and it just looked like video.
I don't know if it was for sure done intentionally, but I actually did notice that in this watch as well. But I only noticed it at the end of the movie.
It might have been intentional.
And I don't know if it was intentional because it was the dream world and the real world mixing together. And I don't feel like I really noticed it throughout the movie. Okay. But then when everything's kind of collapsing in on itself and the parade is going through the real world, we're kind of seeing that like far shot where all of the buildings look real. And it did kind of look like a photograph to me too.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it was something I noticed. Yeah.
Did anyone else not like that?
I guess I didn't notice that as much. The whirlwind was the thing that I think I noticed. I can't remember right before. I think Paprika goes down an alleyway, and then there's the whirlwand there.
Oh yeah,
Sure,
like the little pieces of paper. Yeah.
And again, it didn't really take me out, but I sort of, I guess my benefit of the doubt was, it was like what 2008 did this movie came out? 2006.
Like that,
yeah. So
I
mean, we're still, we're not early days of computer animation, but still at a point where I think that there was blending that 2D, 3D wasn't quite to the technical sophistication that it is now.
Okay. Yeah. Champion.
Yeah, there were one or two scenes that I noticed the same sort of thing. The one that sticks in my head is when she went down that stairway or that ladder in that closet, and then there was that hallway.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah,
and it was really brightly lit, and there was the amusement park at the end of it. And that it didn't look stylistically the same as everything else. And it looked a little computer generated. Again, this is all weird dream shit. So I'm just kind of looking at it and saying like, okay, this is what's happening.
Yeah, I this time I haven't watched it in a long time, this movie, but this time watching it, I really kind of took note of the real world throughout the movie kind of being like gray and bland, and then it really amps it up when it is dream world and how bright everything is. Even when nothing really fantastical is happening, it seems just so much more vibrant and has so much life in it. When they're in the elevator and they're like stopping and he's like going to, again, the different levels of his dream. It's like bright red. It's not just like brown dull wood. Like I feel like all of the choices that they made were very specific when it is supposed to be this
another
like,
reason I love animation, right?
Yeah,
100%.
Bright blue cloud of butterflies.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That being like a reoccurring thing. I'd like to go back now actually and see if the one younger scientist that turns, if there's like a butterfly motif with him, because it does. Butterflies do constantly kind of come up throughout the movie, and then it kind of culminates with that scene where Paprika is on the table with like the pins in her wings, right? And then when he does eventually die in the movie, I'm assuming he explodes into butterflies when the president of the company fully takes over. So yeah. There's so much in this movie. I feel like I could watch it again right now.
So how many times have you seen it?
Twice now.
Twice, okay.
Yeah.
And do you know any factoids about this film that we would not know about?
So the director is a famous director that's done other animated movies before. This is his last film.
Oh.
He died young-ish.
Oh, that's too bad.
Shortly after, I think, this movie.
He's also known for Perfect Blue. If you've seen that.
Perfect Blue. Yeah,
I haven't seen that. Okay.
Yeah, that might be a good one to.
It's been a long time since I've seen that one. It's psychological.
Okay, interesting.
Ideas,
cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But I know that the director really loved film in general. I believe so. When the police captain is in the theater explaining the rule of the 180 rule, he's dressed up as Kurosawa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then all of like the movie posters up are like the director's movies. Like previous movies and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So there's a bunch of like small things like that. But I think that's about it. All I know
Okay,
about it.
so outside of this little, like, I'd never heard of this movie before it was suggested. So how big is this movie compared to other anime, would you say? Like, where does it rank in the echelon?
I don't know.
How important or how famous?
I didn't find it as an anime fan. I found it because I was looking for other more like interesting movies that explored, the differences between dreams and waking.
Interesting.
I was into movies like Persona and A Scanner Darkly and like these
Okay.
other sort of like weird takes on what
Right.
these sorts of ideas of self and identity are. And that's how I came across it because it showed up on these lists over and over of like, oh, you should also see these animated movies. And that was one of them.
Wow, interesting. Okay.
So not that I haven't seen other anime, but I don't know that. I don't know that this is that big of an anime.
No,
is the
I
thing.
don't think it
This
comes up a
director,
lot.
yeah.
I found out about it because of Inception.
Interesting.
So that
Okay.
was kind of my introduction to it. Was I saw Inception when I was in high school. Like my friends and I were really obsessed with Inception when it first came out, and I can't remember how we found out about it, but it was definitely related to Inception. Like we were maybe looking things up and like learning more about the movie or something, and then came across this, and then it was. I don't think long after that we all got together to watch this. So.
Well, just like The Matrix is allegedly ripped off of a comic book called The Invisibles. I
Interesting.
don't know if you ever heard that before.
No.
There's some scenes that are exact parallels, but we'll cover that in a future episode.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Anything else to say about Paprika?
I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. The surrealism is crazy. The dream sequences, the parade, even like the repetition of dreams felt like real, like having that reoccurring like
Because that's
nightmare.
how dreams are.
Yeah, totally.
You wake up and you're like, I've had that dream 32 times. And then you realize, no, actually, that was the first one.
Right.
Right? Everyone's had that feeling.
yeah. Like it's just so like well crafted and thought out. The cop going onto the like computer on that site and clicking enter, and then the door opens, and that's exactly how it is in his dream. Like
Right.
it opens the same way, and then when he's in the bar and he leaves again, it opens. It's like the same exact shot over
Yeah.
and over again. Like it's just there's so much about this movie that is like so well thought out and beautiful and
Organized.
yeah.
Meticulous.
And
For
if
how
I can,
chaotic
if I-
it is.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
piggybacking off of that, it's really interesting that you call to the same shot and how they recontextualize that shot over and over. I also appreciate how if he has this obvious love for Kurosawa and the art of film, and he I think has found some different ways to transition scenes, to do cuts
Oh, yeah.
in ways that you don't see in traditional film. Your wipes or your smash cuts or
Yeah.
things like that. He's found ways to like drop you into a scene when you don't even realize you've been dropped into a scene or
Right.
a
That's a
new
great point.
scene, a new part of that scene.
Yeah. We just kind of like dreams, right? Like
Exactly,
how many
exactly.
times have you been having like a dream and then all of a sudden the dream is something completely different? Like
Yeah,
it just,
and you just know.
jumps. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I don't remember. I was watching some YouTube video. Don't remember what it was. And that's not like my dad. Oh, I saw it on the YouTube. But they were talking about how it was some director. It might have been an anime director. Was like they understand film was a visual medium. And you mentioned these film transitions. It's the same idea, or whatever filmmaker it was, they were doing all these crazy ways to take you through this story. And why not? Why not experiment?
Yeah.
Right? Like, why not do all these crazy things? Especially with an animation where you're not limited. You can do whatever you want, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Like, it's going to cost as much money to do it this way as it do the other way. So just
Yeah, for the
go,
most part.
let your imagination go crazy,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was that?
For the most part. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah.
No, it's like the flip side of that is I was just watching another YouTube video where they talked about how, if you make like a cat's ear twitch, like that's like, 1,000 hours of animation and,
Yeah.
All the
millions of-
rendering time.
all the
sure.
rendering time or whatever. So technically, yes, it costs money, but it's like the creativity doesn't cost money.
Yeah.
It's just what you choose to animate costs money.
Totally.
So I guess that's it. Champion, do you have any last words?
Not really. This was a beautiful film to watch. Visually, it was incredible. I love how it sort of kept folding back on itself and,
Right.
and repeating these elements, and it didn't feel repetitive in its repetition, right? It felt like you were revisiting something
Yes.
that you had to go and take another look at.
Exactly.
You're looking at this from a different angle. You're looking at this from a different person's perspective. And it doesn't always mean something, but it's all, it all ties together. And to compare this with Inception, it was interesting for me to see how using a different medium changes how you have to tell the story.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't be as surreal when you're live action, especially if you're doing mostly practical effects. Like if you're not delving into CG, you have to keep it grounded in reality. Whereas animation, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
You want a fridge march leading a parade down the center of the street, go and do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna have to watch this again. The other issue that I had a bit of is that every time somebody asked me for a drink, I'd have to run to the back, and I'd miss 2 minutes of dialogue. And with subtitles on, it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
The dub is very good as well. Yeah. I watched the dub the first time I watched it. Yeah.
I just want to say thanks so much for playing the subtitled version because I was worried it was going to be dubbed when
that's just
I
the
came in
default,
because
the
it
default.
didn't say
Yeah.
on the thing. I was like, oh, please be subbed.
yeah.
It was
I was
subbed.
ready for it if people complained about it.
Oh,
but
fantastic.
I always start
Yeah,
with
we've
the
shown
sub.
a handful of anime, and they're always the
Always,
subtitle.
yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, definitely. Okay, I guess that's it. Thank you so much, Laura, for
thank you.
joining
Yeah,
us.
thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course.
10 days in, and you're already on a podcast.
Yeah.
This is great.
Glad to be part of the Windsor community now. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Hopefully, we'll have
welcome.
you on again. For
Appreciate
sure.
it. Thanks.
Make sure to, if you have any movie suggestions, you can submit them on our Facebook page or whatever. Yeah, just let us know.
Oh,
you have in
no.
mind. We have a lot. I'm sure everyone does. Everyone does. Okay, there you go. We want to thank Champion for hosting Movie Night every
Thank
Wednesday.
you.
Next week is Tuesday.
Next week
right?
is Tuesday.
That's right. Every
That's
Wednesday
right.
except for when it's a Tuesday.
Typically, yeah, there you go. Sometimes it's science fiction, comedy, superhero, action, horror, everything.
Everything,
Everything you
yeah.
can imagine. Thank
Yeah.
you, Josh Mervell, for always co-hosting. All right, yeah,
no
there you go.
problem.
And tell everybody where you can find our
Oh,
episodes.
that's right. You can find all of our stuff over on our website at comicbooksyndicate.com. All of our stuff's over there, so check us out and let us know what you guys think about Paprika.
That's right. Until the next time, see you later.